So we have this area now, which is blank, which I'll fill in now. I'll pause it here. Remember the shushing back and forth? I'm actually using kind of a double dip of pink and blue. I'm just going back and forth now because I kind of want the pink reflections on the blue and the blue to kind of show through and all that stuff. And I'm putting a little bit more here because that's where the rougher water is. Let's see a little bit more pink there than the rest of the body of water in front here. It's coming down the waterfall. It's also the most reflections here. It's kind of in the clear body of water here. It's the little crevice in between the rocks. So she'll get a little more pink than the rest of it because the sun kind of shows through there a little bit more with the sunlight anyhow. So just doing that right now because I accidentally like covered up this whole area and there was waterfalls here, so I couldn't have waterfalls there, so I had to hurry up and make it the pond. So it's now the front of it, so there's no more waterfall there. And I'll just build up on the rocks and stuff like I always do. Shadows into the rocks. I can actually show you this one. It's a little wet, but actually though, you know what's wet is the water's wet. I just realized that when I dunked my hand into it just now, and it's cold. So, shadows into the rocks, because, you know, it's kind of what I'm getting better at now, right? This angle is on a little bit, I mean this mountain is on a little bit angle, if you noticed. Kind of slants a little bit this way. So, it kind of like is piled up this way. If you can see the mounds of rocks, I didn't really mean it to be that way, but they kind of went in on an angle, and that's the angle that they ended up on. So they kind of like all look like they're piled on top of each other, like sitting on top of each other. There's a little bit too much black down there. So let's smush it out with some gray. And again, I can always put in highlights. I have lighter gray sitting here, so if I need like a little, like a lighter rock down there or something right now, I can just throw it in really quick and touch up on it a little later, just so I kind of know where they are. There are some rocks here at the base, or, you know, towards the shoreline. So, and I'll start to get Payne's Gray underneath that to get the shadow in. So you kind of like know where the separation of the rocks is to the water and stuff. And it fills in all those little white gaps. That's kind of why I do it too. All those little white gaps at the base. Yeah, fill them with shadow. Dirt. Anything like that. Same thing with this little bit of white down here. I'm just going to fill it in right now. Now it could be like water splashing up against the rocks or something, but okay. Or, yeah, that water's still wet. Jeez, I dunked my finger into it again. Just get a little bit of a base of a rock down there. That one's a little bit light actually. Okay, Payne's Gray. Let's get the nice big dark Payne's Gray, right? And again, let it fade out a little bit into the standard gray so I can kind of like blend it in a little bit. I don't want it to be black right down there. That's not bad. Actually, black kind of worked. There's cracks on the rocks there. So, you make do as you go, right? You improvise. Like what Neo said, right? Adapt and overcome, right? There is no spoon. No, okay. A little bit of base of rocks on the bottom, stuff like that. So I filled in the little white area down there, and it'll be a coastline pretty much lapping up against it soon anyhow. So most of that light gray will probably be buried. All right, a couple of white spots here. And again, I can cover them with water later. Or, right now, I can just make, again, some shadowy areas of rocks and stuff like that. Okay, I see a rock there now, which I just kind of hid. But let's see if I can't bring it out into the open right now. There's a rock sitting here. I can see a rock. Kind of tough to get this rock in there, but okay. It's more or less a rock. I'm going to be stopping this soon because I know what's running on. Again, a little bit of shadow at the bottom of it. When I put a coastline in, a lot of that will be buried in the, oh look, little rocks. So, but it also, again, like I said, hides the white at the bottom and it kind of brings out the base of the rocks. I'll stop here.